God bless everybody. Today is February 18th, 2026, and silver keeps moving. It goes up, it goes down, and the globalists keep fighting. They cannot let silver explode, but yet silver is going to explode.
When you Google what is the price of 1 ounce of silver today, you'll come up with about $77.49 for 1 ounce.
Andrew and I have always stated very clearly that when silver starts to go up in price, we were talking of silver specifically, at $20 for a long time. We talk about silver at $25 for a long time. And now it's, as we speak, silver right now is $77 and like 30 or 40 cents. Okay. Everybody listen closely. You know what hasn't happened yet? Silver hasn't exploded. I'm going to repeat. Silver hasn't exploded. How do you know it's going to explode? Because God said. Not my opinion. And I'm going to show you a chart in a second that will confer beyond a shadow of a doubt that what we're saying is 1,000% right. Okay? Because when gold explodes, so does silver. Because as Andrew says, what's good for, go ahead, Andrew, what's good for
gold is great for silver. Absolutely.
Thank you. Since the start of the year, silver has doubled in price to go into $121. Craziness that happened since the start of the year. We're only a month into the year right now. Okay, well, a month and 2 weeks, so 6 weeks. But what an exciting time. But then what happened? February hit. And the bankers decided to create, this is crazy, they created $10 trillion out of thin air, brought it into the precious metal market, into the paper sector, and slammed gold all the way down from $120 down to like $70, 68 for a brief instance, but basically bounced off of 70. Let that sink in. It took $10 trillion to do that. Let it sink in, because it did, okay? And what happened? But they still have a problem because silver is still, as we speak, $77. And that's a huge problem for the bankers, because unless they can take silver back down to $20, which will never happen, they're having a horrible time right now. And we're at a moment in time which is about to go biblical, where silver is about to explode. Not my opinion, the word of God. God doesn't lie. God said silver is going to explode, which means what? It's going to blow the roof off the top, which was what? $121. Means it's going to blow through that. Now, when silver blows through $121, Andrew, just, your best educated guess, but if silver blows through 121 and goes to, say, 150, will you be able to buy silver at 150? Talk about spreads and answer that question. What would happen, in your best opinion?
It's going to be really, really difficult to get a hold of it at that level. And I can tell you that just based on the number of phone calls and emails and website submissions that we were getting from, I would say, about the second week of January up until about a week ago. It's been so incredible, where people would reach out to us and they'd say, hey, I called you 2 days ago and you've not gotten back with me. And our response would just be like, hey, sorry about that. It's the entire industry is being bombarded right now by people that want to get silver like immediately. And the reason really is that there's a real possibility of a COMEX default. And COMEX is the exchange that silver trades on the futures market. And the COMEX trades need to have a certain amount of physical silver in order to back those trades. They call it registered inventory. And they say that it's roughly 4 ounces of paper equal 1 ounce of physical silver. I think it's way more than that. But if we just go with their number and you're looking at a pie cut into 5 slices, on January 2026, there was 103 million ounces of registered silver backing paper trades. But the number of paper trades that have open interest was about hundreds of millions of ounces of silver. So really, we're very close to crushing the banks with our long position on our physical silver, because their shorts aren't holding up, even though the paper silver being shorted heavily outweighs the physical market. That's why I think that the physical market's going to break away from the paper market like it has in China. I've heard China's selling silver at like their spot is not $77.49. Their spot is between $8 and $15 an ounce higher than that then there's a premium on top of that. And to me, that's how it should be. I don't usually agree with China, but that's how it should be, because it should be based on just the basic rules of supply and demand. If the demand is so strong that the supply cannot hold up, and you're seeing 3 and 4 week delays from wholesalers to dealer, like I'm seeing right now, then that tells me that silver is greatly undervalued. Silver is having its day, but we're not quite there yet. We saw last month what is possible for silver, and it really is only the beginning.
What's happening right now is a final sale. Okay, I'm telling you, what we're witnessing right now is a final sale. From Christmas to January, silver ran 100% plus. It went to $121 in under a month. Okay, we're about to see magnitudes greater than that. It's about to explode. This is the final sale. We're seeing it right now. 77 is cheap, because when it goes to 200, first, when it goes to 150, you're not buying it for 150. You'll probably be spending 200 just to get the silver that's priced at 150. Okay, and it's going to go to 300 and 400. This is not opinion. This is what God has stated, because we're stepping into not the wealth transfer. We're stepping into the great one. The greatest wealth transfer in human history is about to happen. God's going to use his money to manifest the great wealth transfer. Again, a lot of people may not have means to buy gold and silver. I get it. I understand, because the Babylonian system has made everybody, I call it a job, just over broke. Okay. And in the new kingdom economy, there won't be nothing like that. It'll be a time of more than enough, a time of plenty. Okay. But what I want to say is, starting February 1, they slammed down silver about twice as much. So proportionally, what's good for gold is great for silver, but reverse to that is what's bad for gold is horrible for silver. In other words, silver dropped twice as much than gold did. Okay. Did it break any charts? Absolutely not. And that's why I want to show this one pattern. Okay. So people are talking about, what's next? Well, if you want to know what's next, you don't look at silver. You look at gold. Because they can't manipulate gold as much because of the amount of money that's involved in gold. And so I want to put up a chart here. So what you're seeing right here is this yellow it's called a candlestick in yellow right here. Okay. That's today. Okay. Andrew, take this chart and just explain what you're seeing. Since I made the chart, does it make sense? Explain what you're seeing in this chart and what gold is telling us per the chart, what's expected to come next.
Yeah, it's so what that chart shows is just how resilient gold has been, and how gold is drawn to $5,000 an ounce. And it's really interesting, because yesterday gold was down something like $135 an ounce. Today it's up like about $117 an ounce. And we're seeing that repetition almost every other day. Down big one day, up big the next. But gold is drawn to $5,000 an ounce. And so the lower end, the support level seems to be that 4,920. We saw it dip a little bit below that. It was into the high 4,800s for a little bit there, but it did come back up. And the resistance level appears to be that $5,090 an ounce. If gold can break through that $5,100 an ounce, we can see it charge straight toward the $5,500 an ounce that we saw before the January 30th crash. And I do believe that gold will do that. And the reason we talk about gold is what we've said a few times here. What's good for gold is great for silver. Silver will be pulled up like a magnet, like Bo always says. It will literally be pulled up like a magnet and go up more percentage points as it has today.
Absolutely. And that's what you want to see in this chart here. Okay. Nothing is wrong. What this is just, you don't need to be a chart analyst to understand this, okay? It's just so simple. It's called a triangle. When silver, the top of the triangle is roughly $5,100, okay? When it takes out $5,100, it's game on, and it might test for a day or two, and then it's going to take off, and then it's not going to be long. Right after that, you're going to have $6,000 gold, $7,000 gold, working its way to $10,000 gold. Yeah, all that sounds crazy. Yes, That's what's about to happen. We're about to see prophecy fulfilled, which is an explosion on silver. So when silver explodes, it's going to blow through its last high of $121, and then it's going to run. It might test it for a day or two, and then it takes off. When it takes off, it's not coming back to $20. It's over, because the globalists, they tried with $10 trillion, and they took it down. So they still have a short-lived window of control, but they needed $10 trillion for that short-lived window of control, which we're sitting in right now, which actually gave everybody who's listening to this podcast what? A window of opportunity, a sale. So you've actually got a sale going on right now.
Yeah.
Because when gold takes out $5,090 or $5,100, the sale's over. Mark my words. Hi, everybody. This is Bo, and I am pausing the interview that Andrew and I were doing February 18th with an update as of today, February 26th. Now, if you've noticed, on that chart, the specific cycle chart that I showed, the triangle, I had a number specifically of $5,090 for gold. And when gold breaks $5,090, it's going to soon after explode vertical, and silver is going to go with it. When we were doing the podcast on February 18th, silver was $77. As I speak right now, silver is $87, $10 higher. And here's the kicker. Gold is $5,175. Why is that important? Because it has broken through the triangle. We have official breakout. And the next thing that's about to happen is a gold/silver explosion. So as I stated in the podcast with Andrew on February 18th, that was a final sale. Silver right now is $10 higher. And what's coming is a vertical price explosion. Gold has patterned out perfectly. It has broken through $5,090. And what's about to happen is a historic biblical vertical price explosion for gold, and you guessed it, silver. So fasten your seatbelts. If you want to reach out to Andrew, I will include the link to his website and contact information below this video. What we've been waiting for, we are now days away. The historic and biblical silver price explosion is at the doorstep. Amen and God bless. And it's going to start to what's called accelerate. And silver then becomes gold on steroids. And what's good for gold is going to be incredible for silver. And silver is going to run, and it's going to blow people's minds. So I just wanted to, show the viewers the chart, all the listen to us, understanding God said that there will be a great wealth transfer. Okay. He said that silver is going to blow the roof. We haven't seen it happen yet. I'm showing you gold is the marker to watch. We're very close to things going down here. And so I always find it a pleasure to have Andrew on the show. Why? Because if you do not have gold or silver, you do not understand history. Because history is proven for 5,000 years that every time man gets involved with money, they screw it up. And then God's money comes in to fix the problem. And that's exactly what's about to happen again. Just because you don't know much about gold or silver, you've never heard about it, you don't know how to buy it, they never taught you it in school, doesn't mean it's money. It means you don't know history. Okay, that's what it means. And history is about to replay itself. And if you have silver or gold and you want to buy some more, Andrew's a great source. Why? Because the moment you send a wire or money from your account, or whether you're doing a 401k or an IRA, understand that you want the shortest, the smallest window possible of time between you moving your funds and your IRA being funded and the metal being delivered, or you sending the wire and the money arriving at your doorstep. The gold or silver arriving at your doorstep, or the depository, or wherever you're keeping it. You want quick, expedient delivery, and Andrew offers both of those to give you what? peace of mind. So when the money leaves your bank account or your 401k or your IRA, you've got peace of mind. And then once the silver and the gold arrives, you've got more peace of mind, because I'm telling you, everybody who's got gold and silver right now, Andrew, do they got peace of mind? Finish it up, Andrew.
Yeah, they do have peace of mind. It's if you look at the things that you can invest in right now, I would say the big four are real estate, precious metals, stocks, and cryptocurrency. I talk to people every single week, almost daily, that thank me and they say, Andrew, I saw you in Bo, and because of that, I rolled over my 401k or my IRA into a precious metals IRA. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I just believed. Many of them tell me that they prayed with their families before doing it, and they did proceed, and now they've doubled and tripled the value in their IRAs. My associates that make sales calls to our clients, or that receive the inbound calls, they're turning in orders where they're doing like $1 million exchanges, gold to silver. Like clients that are trading us $1 million worth of gold for $1 million worth of silver. And they've been doing this since the middle of last year, and they've been rewarded handsomely. But the thing that really gets me is that I don't remember having as many $1 million clients, and we have so many of them right now. And our focus isn't just with them. So for people out there that might have a retirement account with 20 or 25,000, or want to start with a cash purchase of 10,000, please reach out to us. We can definitely help you. It's for everybody from that level all the way on up to 8 figures. So I hope that people can reach out to us through our website. It's bh-pm.com. Fill out the online form. There it is right there. Put in your name, email address, and phone number. Say that you heard about us from the Gold 2020 forecast, or Bo Polny sent me. And in the notes section, be as detailed as you can. If you're like Bo and you invest in silver all the time and don't really need a consultation, tell us that, and we'll reach out to you, and we'll give you our best price on whatever we can give you the best price on. If you want to learn more about using your retirement account and how to do it without it being a taxable event, we can show you how to own real precious metals without it being a taxable event. If you already have precious metals and you want to discuss ways that you might be able to obtain more without using cash, reach out to us. We've talked to people and found out they had annuities that they were able to get out of and put into gold and silver. They have old 401ks for companies that they've not worked at in decades that are just sitting there doing nothing, that they've rolled over. We can find a way to help you, or at least get you the education necessary so that when you are ready to do something, that you don't make a decision in haste. You make one that based on what you've learned.
We've done these podcasts for all these years. And honestly, as much as I love speaking with Andrew, I got to admit, Andrew, I love going to events more, because at these events, which I'm sure you go to as well, all you get is people coming up to you and saying, thank you. Thank you for what? For giving us financial freedom. The Babylonian system was about enslavement, to take away your freedom. Finances give you freedom. Again, I know some people, you cannot afford gold and silver. Guess what? Our God's a loving God, and he's going to bless with such abundance. Okay, so the wealth, great wealth transfer is going to come and start with a silver explosion. That's going to take the silver from 3 digits, eventually to 4 digits, like in time. But incredible numbers are coming in precious metals, because the US dollar, the no reserve system based on paper, is going to crumble. It's not going to go to zero overnight, but it will be dethroned. And God's money will rise up. And then the prophecy is Trump is going to reinstate a gold standard in America.
Once we do go back to a gold-backed system, and remember, we're talking about a gold-backed system, but what's good for gold is great for silver. When we go to that gold-backed system, you're like Bono on the day that Facebook goes on the IPO and then goes up many times over in value. You're in on the ground floor. You're in when everybody else wasn't, because really only 1% to 2% of Americans understand what gold and silver can do for your portfolio, but it won't be that way forever.
God stated specifically what? There will be a wealth transfer, and it will directly involve silver and gold. Position yourself. This is called faith. What is faith? The substance of things not seen, but will happen. This is on scripture, the flipping of the scales, the flipping of the financial scales. The wealth of the sinner, the globalists, has been stored up for the righteous, and we're about to see the greatest wealth transfer in human history. So, Andrew, thank you for being here. Wrap us up on any last words.
Well, for people out there, definitely reach out to us. It's not too late. People often think because they could have got silver years ago when they first heard us talk about it when it was $20 to $25 an ounce, that with it sitting at $77 an ounce, that the ship has gone past them, but it hasn't. It's still very early. Jump on board with us because it's going to be a fun ride.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. God bless everybody. Share this podcast. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button. Get this video to the four corners of the earth. Share it with your friends and family, because when the great and the terrible day happens, when the wealth transfer hits, the doors are going to shut across globally all the bullion dealers, because they won't know what to do for a window of time. And when it does finally open back up, it's going to be at extremely big numbers, okay? So this is final sale. God actually prophesied that through one of the prophets, that this is the final sale. So again, thank you, Andrew, for being here, and thank you, everybody, for listening in.
Beverly Hills Precious Metals Exchange is a client-focused firm devoted to assisting our clients with precious metals. Our clients range from first-time to serious coin collectors and investors seeking to add precious metals to their investment portfolios. We are not interested in volatile investments, leveraged products, and intangible assets. With rising inflation and the devaluing of the dollar hurting middle-class families, investing in gold and silver ensures protection for your hard-earned money. Save the value of your money today by investing in gold and silver at Beverly Hills Precious Metals.